Hi everyone, this is Christy from Inspired by Christy, or you may know me from my blog at Way Outnumbered. And I'm super excited because today I'm going to be showing you how I'm going to edit one of my photos using some actions. I love to use actions and textures to enhance my images, so let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is open up my original image in Photoshop Element 6 for Mac. And I know that Element 6 is ancient in photo editing software right now, but it's all I got, and I like it, so that's what I use. So I'm going to start off with this image. This is my winter bride. You may have seen the step-by-step tutorial that I did on my blog, so now you'll see the live edit. And I'm going to start off by cropping this image. I'm going to hit my crop tool, and it's at an 8:12 aspect ratio. And I know a lot of people, they like to crop last. I usually crop first, just a personal preference of mine. I like to see the progress I'm making on the photo as it's going to be. So I'm just going to crop in a little tighter on her is all. I like the flower that she's got in her hair. I like the fur down here. So I'm just cropping in a little tighter, but I still want to keep some of those elements. I'm going to bring it in just a little bit more. There we go. I like that. I like that. So I'm going to crop that. And now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check my levels. It looks a little dark. I like the coloring, but it looks just a little dark to me. So I'm going to duplicate my layer. I'm going to go up here to Enhance, Adjust Lighting Levels. I'm going to get my white dropper and click over here in the corner where this should be white or close to white, but it's not really. So see how that just brightens it up just a little bit, and I'm just going to leave it at that just for time. So you can take a look here at the before and after. You can see there's the after. It just brightens it up, brings out a little more tan in the coat down here. So it looks good. Next thing I'm going to do, since we're going to go for a glam look on this, is I'm really just going to touch up any tiny little imperfections that I've found on her skin. You know, she don't need a lot of help here, but like I said, I'm going for more of a fantasy look here. So I'm going to use my spot healing brush and just find every single tiny little place here. And whoops, those are a little too big. And just go over them with my spot healing brush, and it just kind of cleans it up a little bit is all. Now I know that I'm going to be using an action later that's really going to change the skin tones quite a bit and lighten them up, so I'm going to not be real super picky here with how I'm editing this, and I'm trying to save some time so that this video doesn't end up like 3 hours long. But you can just get an idea here of what I'm doing, just going through and kind of cleaning up a little bit. And then there's one other little thing that's bugging me, and that's right here on her corner of her eye. You know, this was a busy bride. She had greeted all the people in her reception line, and I grabbed her just for a few minutes to run outside and take some pictures before we went to the reception. So she hasn't had the chance to do a touch-up yet on her makeup. So her makeup got smudged right here in the corner, and she's got great shaped eyes. But it looks like the eyeliner is just kind of cutting that off. I'm going to duplicate my layer again. That way, in case I mess up, I can just delete it. I'm going to go up here to Filter, Distort, Liquify. And a lot of people use the Liquify tool to make body parts that are kind of thick a little thinner. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to kind of take my little finger tool here, just like I was going to smudge out her eyeliner. Just kind of pull it just a little bit just to get that beautiful shaped eye just a little back to normal. It was just messed up a little bit with that eyeliner. So there we go. Little things like that can make a big difference in portraits. You know, you may not know what's throwing you off about the portrait, but you can definitely tell something's out of whack. So there's just a little before and after for you. I just like it better with just bringing the eyeliner out just there to that point. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and I'm going to flatten this. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to soften her skin with another action. This is Baby Powder Room by Coffee Shop, and it's free, and I love it, and I use it on almost every single portrait. Kids, adults, men, women, doesn't matter. I soften the skin on almost everybody because that just fits my style of photography better. And especially with this one, since we're going for the glam fantasy look, I'm really going to go a little heavy on it. I'm going to go to my brush, make it white, and we're going to go pretty heavy, maybe around 32. I'm just going to run the brush over her skin, all up to the hairline, and I'm being real general here. You know, I've got a big brush. I'm avoiding the eyes, but I'm getting on everything else. You can kind of see here how it's just giving it a real creamy look to it. Just softening everything out is all. Like I said, this is kind of heavy for maybe everyday portraits or snapshots, that kind of thing. But I'm going for not the reality look here. I'm going for a little fancy glam. So there you go. You can see it just kind of makes a little bit of a difference there. I'm going to take it a little smaller and go around where her makeup is. There we go. I'm going to do that up there around the edges. And you can see here the before and the after. Just helps out a little bit. Now that's extreme, but that's just for the sake of this photo. And just to make sure, in case I didn't miss any areas, I'm going to go to Filter Blur, Gaussian Blur, about 1.8 pixels, which it just blurs out everywhere that I went around since it was pretty quick and general. That way, in case I miss any spots. Now I'm going to go up and I'm going to brighten her eyes just a little bit. They already look fantastic, but I'm just going to show you what you can do. I'm at a real low, about 13. I'm just going to click real general here on the whites of her eyes, and you can see the difference. Just brightens them up a little bit. And if that's a little too much for you, if they start to look freaky, just take your opacity down a little bit. There you go. We're at about 82%. You can see the before and after. It just, just gives that little extra sparkle. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just go here with my eye define layer, and I'm going to go pretty heavy, and I'm just going to run my brush across her eyelash line, and it just kind of emphasizes that just a little bit. Just draws your attention back to the eye just a little bit more. Not a lot. There we go. So I'm going to flatten my layer. That already looks better. I like that. Next thing I'm going to do, though, is I am wanting this whole photo to be more of a one-toned image. So I'm going to use another action that I have. It's from Coffee Shop 2 called Coffee with Cream. And you can see what that does right away. It just kind of puts a layer over all of it and lightens it up. I like that look, but that's a little too much, so I'm going to have to adjust it. I'm going to go over here to the layer mask where it says darken. Get my brush again on black. We'll take it up to about 80, about 83. And I'm going to run that back over the fur coat she had on because I want to bring some of that detail and a little bit of that color back. There we go. She had on a fantastic fur coat that day. It was beautiful. I'm going to run that across her flower in her hair too, just to bring back a little bit of that. I still want to be able to see that. So that helps out just by doing that. And her face is a little blown out. So I'm going to go to my gradient map layer, take that down about, I don't know, maybe 60 something. There we go. What that does is that just brings a little bit of her original color back, a little bit of the peachiness back. So I like that. I'm going to flatten my image, and I could stop there if I wanted to, but I like to play. So I'm going to do one more thing, and I'm going to run an Orton layer over it. What the Orton action does is it adds a glow to everything. A lot of people use it for landscaping. So what I'm doing now, it gives me an option to up or lower my brightness and my contrast. If I go down, if I go up, you can see what it does. I'm going to go up a little bit on it. That looks good to me. And I just kind of, I don't have any set rules for these. I just kind of do what looks good with the individual photo. My second round here for brightness and contrast. There's down, there's up. I'm going to go just a little bit on this, just a little bit. There we go. Click OK. The action's running. I don't have to do anything. There we go. Now, you can see how this automatically, here's the before, and then here's the after. It has a great glow to it, but a little much. So I'm going to go to my Orton layer, and I'm going to bring the opacity down probably to about half. There we go. So there it is before. There it is after. Not a huge difference, but what I really like about the Orton action is the difference it makes usually in the hairline. Gives it a great glow around the hairline. It softens up the hair. Take a look here at the before. The hair just looks a little flat, a little drab, a little hard. So when you add that Orton action, it just gives it all glow, gives the skin a little more creaminess too. And I just like it. So I'm going to flatten that, and I could call it a day. That would be my final image, and I'm just going to show you, oh, and that ran a copy of it too. I'm going to get rid of this one here. So that's my final image. Let me show you a before shot of what we were working with. There was nothing wrong with this before shot. This just has a little more of a glam look to it, a little more of a fashion look to it. So, you know, and that's what I like. It's personal preference. One more thing you could do with this, I've got an action that I love to run on portraits. The 70s action by Pioneer Woman. It's free too. I like free. So I'm going to show you how that can just really change the look of this photo. Double click on that. Run my 70s action. Wow, that's quite a big difference. I'm going to take my opacity down just a little bit. I'm kind of liking that there. So there's my before. It's got a real soft and natural look to it. I like it. I think she looks great. Add the 70s look to it. Totally changes the look. It gives it more of a, I don't know, high fashion magazine style look. I don't know, retro, whatever you want to call it. I like them both. I can't decide. So here's my before without any edits, straight out of the camera. Looks great. Go over here. Here's my after with an editing, kind of a soft, natural glam look to it. Add the 70s look, and there you go. So there's all kinds of things you can do. So I hope you like this. I hope it can help you out. If there's anything else you want to see, leave me a comment, get a hold of me, find me somewhere, and let me know, and I'll try to do it. So hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.